need to start making some more aggressive wobbles for after the drop, because the wobble that we have in there now is nice, but you're building up to something ridiculous, so the listener is expecting something ridiculous, so it better be ridiculous. So let's create a new MIDI track. Here we go. And let's drag the massive in once again. And we'll start working on a more grainy or dirty bass, if you will. So let's turn off the first oscillator and the third one. I only work with the second one. Of course, you can pick whatever one you want. And in this case, we're gonna select the wavetable called grain or groan number 4. And these are very, very gritty. So we're gonna turn the wavetable position all the way to the right. We're gonna turn the intensity off sort of halfway, and then turn the amp on all the way. That's what it sounds like so far. Now we can have different spectrums that we can choose from, and so we're gonna pick the band plus. It sounds a little bit better for the case that we're looking for. Alright, then we're gonna turn off filter 2, and we're gonna make everything route through filter 1. So we're gonna turn this up to filter 1 and make sure that it's serial, not parallel, which means it goes to filter 1, then 2, instead of both at the same time. So in the filter, we're going to put a bandpass, and we're going to turn that up somewhere like here. Let's give it some bandwidth and some resonance. See what this sounds like. Pretty good so far. Now the cutoff is usually the knob we wobble, but our track is by far not dirty enough yet. So let's go to the modulation, and since we only have oscillator 2, let's see if we can add some phase to oscillator 2. Let's turn it all the way halfway, and let's take our pitch down a full octave, so 12, and that makes it modulate or phase a lot lower. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to add some noise, because noise is great for, you know, distorted dirt, if you will. There we go. Let's add some feedback. And now for the last magical parts, let's add a frequency shifter. And a bit crusher, which crushes up the sound. I'm playing a lower note here to see what we're doing. Alright, let's turn up the restart via gate here. And let's give it a little bit of vibrato so that the sound sort of shakes. So a little bit of depth, but a little bit of... Time to add some more filters. Let's do a classic tube, and a tube is basically another word for sort of a tube to distortion. So let's turn that up. And there comes the dirt. And I'm constantly playing E notes, sometimes higher, sometimes lower on the keyboard. And then for the second one, let's go with a dimension expander, which sort of expands it over left and right, gives it more of a stereo feel. And that works pretty well. Alright, now let's turn the equalizer on to give it a little bit of a boost in the mid-range and frequency. Let's change the voicing. More voices usually makes it, you know, a little louder too, so that's cool. Excellent. Alright, now it's time to add some wobbles there. Let's add a wobble to the cutoff. Let's sync this up and, you know, let's go to 8th notes or something. Let's put that halfway. So we have 2 LFOs like explained in the previous videos. And let's also add an LFO to our rate here, so that we wobble that a little bit. Perfect. Well, I think our sound is pretty nice and dirty so far. So let's close this and let's add in a MIDI clip here. Or actually, let's do a small one. And let's just play an E note in here. And we may take that up or down later depending on how we shape the drop. Excellent. Alright, now we're gonna shape the drums and make them slightly different for our drop. So let's continue on with that next.